guys, so we're looking at how to find a least common denominator, because remember, when we add and subtract fractions, you always have to find a common denominator that is the same. Okay, and we learned the first trick that we learned to make it happen was if we had a problem such as 2/3 plus 1/5. Okay, so if we had 2/3 plus 1/5, what we would have to do is we'd have to find a common denominator. And our first trick we learned was to multiply the two together. 3 times 5. And that gets us a common denominator of 15. So we'd set it up with our new common denominator. And then we have to change the numerators the same way that we change the denominator. So we have to figure out 3 times what got us to 15. 3 times 5. And whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So our new numerator would be 5 times 2, which equals 10. Then we do the same to the other side. We have to ask ourselves, 5 times what got me to 15? Well, it was 5 times 3. And whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So my new numerator would be 1 times 3 equals 3. Once the denominators are the same, we can go ahead and add across. 10 plus 3 equals 13, and my answer would be 13/15. Now, that is the easy, fast trick. However, sometimes when we multiply these two numbers together, we get a really big number. And it's not as easy to add those fractions together because we have to simplify them. So what's best to make simplifying easier is to find a least common denominator. So for example, if I had the fraction, the addition problem, 2/6 plus 1/4. Okay, now if we multiply these both together, 6 times 4 equals 24, which we can do. But it's going to be a bigger denominator than we need. Instead, what we can find is the least common denominator. So what we do is we write these two denominators up here. I've got 4 and I've got 6. And what we do is we multiply these numbers by 1, by 2, by 3, until we can find a number that's in the same, that's in both lines. Okay, so let's try this out. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so let's bump the 6 down. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. And oh, what we should notice is there's already a same number in both lines. And this number is obviously smaller than 24. So it will be a lot easier to simplify and easier to find a number to divide into it later. So now instead of setting it up with 24 in the denominator, I use my new denominator, my smaller one, or my least common, which would be 12. Okay? Then the only thing that we have to remember is we need to remember how we got from this denominator to this denominator. So 6 times what gets me to 12? Well, 6 times 2. And whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So my new numerator is 2 times 2, which equals 4. Then we do the same on the other side. 4 times what gets me to 12? Well, 4 times 3. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And my new numerator is 1 times 3 equals 3. Okay, then denominators are the same, so I can add the numerators. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Your answer would be 7/12. Okay, so always find the least common denominator because it will be faster and easier for you to add fractions.